Hey YouTube, this is VAC bringing you a live deck profile of number c69, Heraldry Crest of Horror. Now, this deck profile is a little bit unorthodox. It's also my first video on YouTube, so I'm sorry if I get nervous, and it's also on my phone. So the bad quality is also my fault. So, without further ado, let's get started. For your extra deck, you're going to want probably 2. Some people might run 3 of the Heraldry Crest of Horror, just for consistency reasons. Same thing with the Heraldry Crest. They're not really going to be on the field very long, as they're kind of bad. Night Packer Operative in the deck can get really big, as you'll be spamming 4s all over the place, so yeah, he can get really, really big. His normal attack is 26, so, and his effect just makes him really, really good in this deck. Leviair, because, sometimes bottomless or whatever comes your way kind of, messes you up. He can bring him back. Also, there's a few cards in the deck that also banish themselves, so he can bring them back as well. Fortitude, I found him to be really good in almost any deck that can run 3s, just because he can negate his destruction and, he gives you 500 life points every standby phase. Utopia Ray V, just 1. Destroys monsters and inflicts damage to your opponent, 2600 attack, pretty standard. Same thing with Ray, just different effect. And of course, Utopia. Run 2 Utopias, because they negate the attacks and everything, and with the deck you can actually cycle them a little bit. So, yeah. The deck does run some synchro support in it, so yeah. I'm actually hoping to, replace this Mighty Warrior with something a little bit better. But for now, I guess he's going to have to stick in, because he's a 6. Stardust negates destruction effects, bring himself back. He's an 8, 2500 attack, pretty standard. Red Dragon Archfiend, same thing. Not many people like to run him anymore, actually. But I found he's quite useful in nowadays decks. So, with Ghost Tricks and stuff running around if they don't have a Scare or a Vanish, so it's kind of good. And that's the extra deck. The monster base is actually the unorthodox part of this deck. It's 2 Alexandrite Dragons, normal monster, 2000 attack, 100 defense, commons. 2 Genix controllers for your 3s. Luster Dragons, also normal, 1900 attack and 1600 defense. Rescue Rabbit, really good to get out your monsters that require 2 level 4s and other cards like that. I mean, he did get limited down to 1. Hopefully he'll come back up eventually, but for right now, just running 1. Gores, just in case you can't get anything, he's a good stall. BLS, because you're running both dark and light monsters, and why the heck not. Morphing Jar, just in case you don't get what you need, or in case you get pesky cards in your hand that you want in your graveyard, for BLS or other reasons, it kind of helps. It gives you a better hand, too. Goblinberg, 3, because he special summons another monster along with him. Jane, just because she helps to thin out the deck and everything. I only run 2. She's also a level 4, so you can special summon her. So, she kind of helps the deck run a little bit smoother. Summoner Monk. He's definitely one of your bigger guys, because you ditch a spell and everything that you don't need, and special summon a 4, which you can actually special summon another one of him and do the same thing over again if you have multiple spells in your hand that you don't want. And you can go into an instant Heraldry Crest, so it's kind of good. Guildfax of the Nordic Beast, kind of good. Special summon if your opponent has a tuner, and he's a level 4. tuner monster, so you can actually Xyz with him, or you can use the other level 4s with him and synchro for your 8s. So he kind of helps the deck run, just a little bit. 3 Necro Gardenas, just because it's kind of a slow-moving deck at this point, until the draw power kind of kicks in. So you're probably going to need a little bit of stalls in it. So, yeah, they're pretty good. Kage. Every time you normal summon a level 4 monster, you can special summon him. So he really helps with your Xyz monsters. However, he can't be used for synchro material. So that's the only bad side to him. And that's your monster base. Spells are a little bit heavy because of the Summoner Monks and stuff, so yeah. 1 and 2 Chalice. Right now I'm testing it with 1. I might throw in 2, just for YCS purposes, because this is the deck that I'm really taking over there. So, yeah. Of course, 3 MST, destroy back row, stuff like that. Swords of Revealing Light. Good stall card. Kinda, good for 3 turns until they destroy it. 1 day apiece. You and your opponent both get a draw. Kinda good at this point. Xyz Reception. Just in case you get like a Kage and a level 4 and you want to special summon your Heraldry Crest that turn, you can target one of them and special summon it. So it's kinda good. I only run 1 though. So Allure of Darkness. Really good, considering that a lot of the deck is actually darks and stuff. So it's a +2, and then -1 because you have to banish a dark. So it's really just a +1 to your hand, and you can always bring back the dark with the Leviair. Rank Up Magic Baron's Force. I run 3 of these, just for the simple purpose of when you Xyz with this over Numeron's Force, which I do run 1. You steal your opponent's Xyz units to add them to whatever monsters you summon. So it's actually really good for your monsters. Actually, that's one of the wrong ones. Numeron's Force. This is good and all. It's good pretty much if you have no monsters on your side of the field, because it negates the effect of all face-up cards on the field. And then Limited Baron's Force, of course. It just takes a 4 and turns it into a 5. Dark World Dealings, just 1, because in case you get the Necro Garden in your hand and you have no way to ditch it, you can always Dark World Dealings and get +1 and then drop the Necro Garden for later. So it kind of helps. And that's the spell base. Now the trap base. Number Wall. Run 2. Or, I did run 2. Yeah, run 2. This makes it to where your Heraldry Crest and all your number monsters can't really be destroyed by battle, or card effects, really. And they can only be destroyed by battle if it's by another number monster, so it's kind of cool. However, when a number monster is destroyed, you destroy this card, so it's got a little bit of backlash there. Xyz Revenge Shuffle, really good, because if they're attacking like a Utopia or whatever it is, or whatever, when they declare that attack, I believe, you can activate this card and bring back an Umbral Horror, or not an Umbral Horror, but a Heraldry Crest of Horror, and if they continue their attack, it blows up their whole field. So, yeah, just 1 at this point. So it's actually pretty good. It's pretty common card, so. Legacy of Yatagarasu. I found these to be pretty useful, because they're +1 to your hand, and in a 41, 42 card deck, it's kind of really good. Same thing with the Jar Grades, just both at 2 right now, extra draw power, and then Dimensional Prison, because, who doesn't like to banish their opponent's monsters? And that actually wraps up this deck profile. So leave your comments in the box below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.